finalized sale, and it serves or creates no spatial, environmental, or service constraints.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any questions from anybody, any member? Again?
It's not really a question. It is a question. I don't think the principle, I don't have any tradition about it. The only concern is the access of, I know it's time, but these people with the but I'm concerned about the access, especially over 5 and over 3. Of course, those properties actually get access to.
Matthias State.
They get access, and also there's, if you look at the schools, the impact, traffic impact study, they also mentioned that of one of building independent, which will understand and parking. So I think it's best if I address the parking and access levels of. So either they must be possible. Or alternatively, some other service rules. Just mention that.
Any other comments or questions?
Or we can say alternative. But then they're at least the better choice.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, can I get any proposals for the recommendation, but as amended? Propose and Hendrik seconds. Okay, then we move on. Application for subdivision, closure of public place, rezoning and consolidation of 1812 and portion of 955, staged by Ward 5. It's attached on pages 93 to 111. Who leads us in this item? Again, Avram?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next application, as mentioned on the share, is again the closure of streets. So again, this property located in Tribunal. It's for the subdivision of about 85 square meters of a portion of the 955 stretch by, which will be a closure of the public street, needs to be rezoned to single residential, and that will be consolidated with the 1812. The purpose is to incorporate unused municipal street reserve into the adjoining residential curve. And just to mention, if you look at the dash layout, it does make a funny corners. So they basically just want to bring it in line with their neighbour's boundary. The property, as mentioned, is in Struisbaai, over 18.2 is 781 square meters, and we should require 85 square meters to consolidate the property. The area indicated in red is basically where the boundary will move forward to join the existing residential property. In terms of its environmental context, there was again no triggers, no sensitive environmental features, no heritage impact. In terms of the spatial context, is within the urban footprint, no expansion of settlement boundary, and utilizes existing infrastructure. The SDF supports urban infill and promotes efficient land use. This application was also process in terms of the legislative framework and public participation. It was advertised on the 19th of September 2025, closed the 20th of October 2025, and there was no outcomes. It was circulated to the adjacent owners, the board committee, and internal and external departments. From the comments received, it's mostly no objections. Property administration said that this proposal has already been approved by council. The board committee also supported the application. We just need to confirm that no services are affected and that the market-related sale is required. In terms of the key planning issues, for the land status, it's a municipal street reserve that needs to be alienated. This was already approved by council. There's no infrastructure, no services affected, no road functionality impact. Zoning would be required for the consolidation. And on the scale of the proposal, it's a small portion with no broader spatial impact. In terms of our planning evaluation, so it's a minor property boundary adjustment as a logical extension of the existing residential earth, and there's no negative spatial or service impacts. Sufficient land use removes redundant municipal land and aligns with the cadastral reality. It's desirable in terms of a planning perspective. In terms of our SPUMA and LUPA assessments, it complies with all the 5 principles. There's no conflict with the development principles, and it's a strong compliance plan. I'm just repeating myself back. In terms of for the tribunal, the application originates from a council-approved land disposal. We did not receive any objections from the public departments or external authorities, and this application has no infrastructure or environmental impact. We therefore find this application desirable and compliant in terms of policy. Therefore, we recommend this application to be approved by the tribunal. It's for the subdivision of a portion approximately 85 square meters of earth 955 Straits by in terms of section 24(1)D. Rezoning of the subdivided portion of earth 955 from street to single residential in terms of section 15.2D. Closure of a portion of the public street. Consolidation of the subdivided portion of earth 955 with earth 1812 Straits by. Yeah, and in terms from a town plan side, like we said, is a minor no impact application. Administratively required to follow the NEFA, and there's no spatial, environmental, or service constraints.
Any comments?
It's more of a, it's just a technical procedural. Just go back to the previous page. The tribunal cannot take a decision on an exemption.
Okay.
So either we must remove the subdivision and consolidation from the decision, or we can take the decision, it's no problem, but then we must just refer to the right sections of the bio.
Okay.
It's just a technical.
It's very important technical issue. Any other questions? So, which of your advice are you proposing? To remove or to?
I think we can just keep it in. It's on the, it won't make any difference. It's part of the application, so I think we can keep it in, just refer to that.
I've only got one question. If you look at the aerial photos, earth 1233 and then it's earth 1812. But now it's still inconsistent with 1813. So if one wanted to align, why would you not continue?
Yeah, he did have discussions with big neighbors as well.
Yeah.
And personally, in terms of the spatial context, it makes the most sense. So I think if those neighbors also approach the application,
You would do the same.
we would do exactly the same.
There's also discussion in council as well.
Okay, can I get any proposals for the recommendation? Mr. Kruan? Ms. Carstens, thank you very much. We move to our third item on the agenda. Closure of public space, subdivision, rezoning, consolidation, and removal of restrictive title conditions of 363 and of 368, Arniston Ward 6. It's attached on pages 112 to 144. Is it again you, Abraham?
No, it's
No, it's Julian. Okay, Julian, thank you. Enlighten us.
The chairperson, members of the tribunal, my name is Julian, municipality, and I will be presenting my land use application for of 363 and 368 of Arniston. So the whole purpose of the application is to facilitate a minor pedestrian adjustment. So specifically, the aim is to incorporate a small portion of municipal land to adjacent property. This will allow the property to be used more in a practical way. So following public participation process for the alienation of municipal land, Council approved the disposal of a small portion of Earth 368 to the adjacent property owner. So this approval was subject to obtaining the necessary town planning approvals. Decision was taken on 28th August 2025 under Council Resolution 151. So the properties involved includes Earth 363, which is known as single residential, and is owned by the Heartland Trust, and Earth 368, which is owned as public open space and is owned by the Cape Dallas Municipality. So these properties are located within Caballero Avenue in Arniston. So the application consists of several components. So firstly, it's the closure of a portion of public space. Secondly, it's the subdivision of Earth 368, portion A, which is approximately 262 square meters, and the remainder. Thirdly, it's the zoning portion A from public open space to single residential, and thereafter consolidating portion A with of 363 in order to form one. So after the consolidation, Earth with the area of 932 square meters will be formed. And then lastly is the removal of restrictive title conditions, 363, in order to bring the title in line with the development parameters of single residential zone property. So the surrounding area is primarily zoned as single residential. Proposal is consistent with the character of the area. It also aligns with the municipal ECF. So no conflicts with planning policies identified. So all relevant internal departments were consulted and no objections were received. Engineering services also mentioned that there are no concerns relating to infrastructure and no environmental impacts were also identified. Application was advertised from the 24th of October to 24th of November 2025, and only one objection was received from the Registrars Arniston Ratepayers Association. So the objection relates to land valuation. So however, this is not a planning consideration. It does not relate to spatial, environmental, or land use impacts. So therefore, it was regarded as not a valid planning ground. So from a planning perspective, the proposal relates to a minor and low impact pedestrian adjustment what negative impact the surrounding area, no infrastructure or environmental concerns were identified, and the proposal also supports efficient land use. It is recommended that the Municipal Planning Tribunal approve the application, subject to the conditions of approval. This is because the proposal is consistent with planning policies, not negatively impact the area, and it represents a desirable planning outcome. But the Municipal Planning Tribunal is requested to consider the application and approve the application subject to the recommended conditions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Yula. Any questions?
I did not feel as comfortable with this application as with the previous. I think the one thing that you did not address in the report is not necessarily the infrastructure, but the use of public open space. Will it be needed for public open space? And then my concern is also, if you look, I don't know if you can open the plan again to show the properties next door. Yeah, so that the open space now on the east will be quite a small space or a more narrow space, which is not always, I don't even like it as it is, but I'm just thinking, is that the best use? Can't you just make one additional earth with that better use of that land? I'm just asking a question. I don't know.
I think that's a very good question. I feel the same regarding that.
And it's also unsafe if you have that little narrow open space between two houses. It's not safe. So I do have my concerns.
Just in terms of how the subdivision looks now, that line is basically a deal. So yeah, the line is on top of the deal. Obviously, it was split from two different housing developments. So I don't think there's actually a lot of activity happening there. But I do understand your concern for a narrow, alleyway that this is going to create.
The current zoning is single residential,
Yes.
and it will stay single residential. What are currently the activities on that earth?
So currently,
What is built on that earth?
currently the earth is vacant.
Is it vacant?
And what we operate as small piece.
No, I've always had this problem with what we do in Arniston in terms of fragmenting open space and not planning properly. So I'm still worried about that because council has been selling off portions of land and without a plan, without a strategy.
On the right, the 371, 671.
671.
671, that is all on the other side of the one. It's all of the info. So you use and it's out of the so that we can early, that's out. And the space in the back.
Well, the green portion, green one next to the one that doesn't have a number.
I'm just going to get that subdivision plan quickly.
So you're taking that open space now, but to the other side.
Well,
The other side of that line. Yeah.
So it's good to get the land on the right. This side is a bit difficult.
And that whole portion of open space, is it dunes or is it?
So
And more or less, is it possible to show me more or less where it is in Arniston? Can we look at it through Obia? Can we can get a better indication of what it looks like?
Can I ask?
No, you can ask, please, do.
For the removal of the title condition, it's restricted to one dwelling. Is that the general character also of the area? Will you now change the character by removing the condition? Like the
We
title
can,
condition.
please, Lillian, we can now see better what it looks like because
That looks on Google Earth and farm mapper, but it's not, I don't think they use it for farm recreation or anything.
so I can see it's there.
I'm just gonna show you the street view here as well. So that's the current site view from the property side. So they do have an informal road that crosses over there. And then from the other
So it's
side,
not a huge deal, it's a flattish.
yeah. It's
So
all
what-
on this side, you can even actually that detect that pricing, design idea, but yeah.
So why would one not create another Earth? That's the question that I'm asking. Why would you fragment it so that you really can't use that open space for anything anymore?
Yeah, I mean, you can. What's here basically just a rough idea.
You can
Yeah.
Here 500 square meter property, so even bigger. So
You should show me also the button.
yes, I'm just saying.
Time is valuable. I just think you want to make the best use of it. Because for me, 200 plus square meters is not really a minor adjustment. It's a property, so.
So in terms of the proposed layout, you can see here, we don't really, it does not affect what we're planning to do on the infill. So
It's only a part.
yeah, so I mean, it's still available for development in terms of
But on this side, it's a bit clean.
the dune starts around here.
So, any inputs, any comments? How do you feel with that?
Now you were referring to future developments on the other side.
Yes.
So,
So the future development is the urban as indicated in yellow.
okay.
Yeah.
And the small part is that the also we were talking about.
Next to number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what application is.
Application is that, yeah, that block there.
Yeah.
And the other side is then open, but the question is, what does one do? One could create another earth there, at least. Or you can extend the yellow urban and you could create two urban. Yeah.
Yeah.
With access, the access can be from this side.
There is an informal road between the two areas.
I need to get proposals. I cannot make a proposal. I am the chairperson.
So actually, like, if you guys propose that to put in two smaller numbers.
We're not proposing that, we
No.
can only refuse or
Yeah.
we cannot make
Yeah,
suggestions.
no, we can't do that. Yeah, we can either approve or not approve.
Who else is on the? Probably only the two of us, it's the other way. Maybe. But I
See,
think,
it's a good idea.
no, just want another.
Yeah.
I just say, in the council, we need also indicate the other costs that are still. The people down there would also ask the same.
So now, the question.
Just we can't do that. Portion that they also.
See, that's my problem between doing that. Honest grants often fragmenting portions of open space or commonage. And must have a better strategy or plan, even policy saying, when do we do it and when do we not do it?
The application probably is also of a sufficient size. It's not as if it's a lot smaller than the others, so that you can make it. You're actually creating a property that's a lot bigger than the surrounding properties. That doesn't even fit in the existing.
Yeah, and I know the other day there was an application for a person who wanted to extend his property to the back. That person appealed now because we turned it down. It was also in Honeston. It was similar, but this was just at the back of the person's house, and we said, of course, we don't want to fragment our open space. We will turn it down. So one has to be consequent, in how you deal with these applications.
I think I'm on the.
Okay?
So what are we going to do now?
Naseeb's proposing not in favor.
I also have.
Okay, you second. So we are unanimous then. We're not in favor of this and we will refer it back.
Well, we have to give reasons about this.
Yeah. And I think we've given a lot of reasons. So what we are,
It's probably fragmentation of the open space and it's not the best use
of the land and not the most economical use for the municipality.
Size.
Yeah, and the size of the urban. Okay, we are then unanimous on that. Are there anything anybody wants to say before I close the meeting? Any inputs, any comments? Jason?
Yeah, maybe just to put on record, so yeah, obviously this was something that, was raised to the council as well when the initial application went for the alienation, that there is a possibility that through the process, there may be objections, or the tribunal may not approve it. So I think council did take that into consideration, hence it was the suspension condition that this process needs to be approved, otherwise the sale basically will lapse.
Okay, thank you. Then I would like to thank all of you. Thank you, Dillian, for driving all the way. We really appreciate that. And thank you, everybody, for your inputs and your contributions. It was a good technical nature. And have a safe trip back. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we may as well.
Good night, Mr.